everyone. Welcome to Off the Charts, episode 170. Before we start off, if you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Hit that notification button and like or subscribe to get notified that I'm online. So, okay, that was dumb. So today's episode is going to be another one of my revisiting forgotten bands. And it's one that I've discovered when I started. Actually, I discovered these guys when I first started the channel. It was almost a year and a half ago now. And was one of my pleasant surprises. And to think I only bought albums from them because of when I was doing my sexist album covers episodes. And I say that with a plural, episodes. I'm sure there'll be more to come for that. Anyway, I'm talking about Mama's Boys. Now, yeah, even they're not big fans of the name, you probably never even heard of these guys here. But yeah, check out YouTube. There's actually some good stuff out there, and I'm gonna say this is actually one of my proudest things that I'm more proud of having found a pleasant accident. So let's start off first. Who are Mama's Boys? They're from Ireland, actually. They kind of formed in 78, 79, around that time. They're pretty much, their early career was a trio. So they're the McManus brothers. So you got Pat McManus on guitar, fiddle, and I think even bagpipes. I think it's him that's doing, but for sure he's guitar and violin, like electric violin or whatever there, and he's good. Like John McManus on bass and vocals, more on that later, of course, and Tommy McManus on drums. So they came up with the name. It was a joke because I think Tommy McManus on drums, when they first started in 78, 79, he was like 13. So yeah, he was very young, the drummer. So yeah, they came out with that name there, Mama's Boys. I mean, it is what it is, but it was based on youth and naivety. What started out as a joke kind of stuck eventually there. So that's what that happened with that name there. Even myself, when I first saw the name, I've never heard of those guys until maybe 2 years ago when I was like, Mama's Boys, like I've never heard of these guys. And boy, I was missing out. I'll be honest there. So, and I've actually I'm missing one album, but because it's on CD only, and I don't have a CD player anymore, and it's not available digitally on iTunes. So I was like, ugh. So anyway, more on that later on. But I am proud to say that I've got all their albums. They weren't easy to find, all of them. One of them wasn't that cheap there, but I'm like, let's not talk about that. Cheers to you guys, and cheers to Mama's Boys here. So here's the first one here. And actually, I was proud to have found this one here. This was, like I said, not cheap, but not easy to find too. So you'll probably see, there you go. Mama's Boys. It's called Official Bootleg. They self-financed. Is it financed, this one? Sorry. This one is self-funded. There's a reason why I corrected myself, and you'll see there. Self-funded. This apparently was recorded in 4 hours. And I must say, I love this record. This is so raw, so good. A couple of songs, they're jam songs, but the songs are there. Like it doesn't show that this was recorded in 4 hours. Like I said, it's rough, it's raw, but and they're not like, don't expect radio hits on this here, but man, I was proud to when I first heard this. I'm like, you know what, this is actually pretty good here for and of course you take into consideration this was recorded in 4 hours apparently and self-funded, so that means it's their own, they used their own money to make this album here. I don't think they were born in poverty because they had, or maybe they were, but there was music and musicians in their family for like forever. Like I guess being from Ireland, that really helps there. But yeah, anyway. So Official Bootleg is their, I guess, first one. It's on no, actually, is it on the record label that I think? Yeah, it's on Pussy Records. So yeah, self-funded, sorry. I guess that's when it, self-funded is when the money comes from yourself. Self-finance means you gathered yourself some money from help from other people, but it's yourself still that paid for it. So anyway, recording 4 hours. If you get a chance to hear this one, just how good these guys are from being recorded in 4 hours, check it out. So Official Bootleg in 1981. Then comes, see, the reason I was talking about self-funded versus self-financed, that first one was self-funded. Their second one, Plug It In, is self-financed. So I guess they made some money with the Official Bootleg to pay for this, I guess there. So, and Rush fans may know as Neil Peart as the Professor, I believe. Well, Pat McManus is also called the Professor on there's even some songs called The Professor. Yeah, the guy's actually very good on guitar. So yeah, he's like lead guitar, acoustic, fiddle, and voice box. So this is their second one, Plug It In. A little more polished than Official Bootleg, but still raw. And this, yeah, their discography is a little bit complicated, and you'll see there. It's, if ever you're looking to get their, like, follow what I'm showing you here, because I researched the hell out of this band when I first started liking their albums. I was like, well, there's a lot of albums that are repetitive. They do the Whitesnake thing there where they re-record their own songs there. They do that a lot. So I'm not, I know the songs, but well, here we go. Like, I'll tell you songs. In the Heat of the Night. So Needle in the Groove. If you're going to look up a video from Mama's Boys, check out Needle in the Groove. When I say I love that song, that's pretty much an understatement. Like, I've been playing that song on YouTube like many times. Again, no pun intended. It's a great groove. You're just listening to it. You're like, it's a great song. So yeah, Needle in the Groove. But this version is a little bit more raw. The version on YouTube apparently is from this. This is why I say that gets complicated, their discography. It says it's from this, but the video on YouTube is from another version that comes later on. More on that later. So yeah, there's Needle in the Groove. Straightforward. Again, that's another song that's a little bit raw here. Gets re-recorded. Runaway Dream is another one I've seen on YouTube. But yeah, it's a fairly decent one right here. There, I do prefer the bootleg one from this year, but there's that one song, Needle in the Groove, is so great. But again, this is what, self-financed. This took a week to do as opposed to 4 hours, like their first one there. And their first one's got what, like maybe 8 songs. This one has 9, sorry. There you go. Mama's Boys, Plug It In. All right. Next up is, so if you watched my channel in the past, you've seen this album cover before. This actually got featured in my Sexist album. But I've actually said I actually do enjoy these guys here when I was making fun of the album cover. So next up in 1983, Turn It Up. There you go. You got that little topless girl inside there. This is how they look like right here. The McManus brothers. This one is dedicated to their sister. Is that the one? Yeah, this is the one. It's dedicated to their sister. I couldn't at the time. I was like, I still am laughing as like dedicating this album in the memory of their sister. But yeah, see, Midnight Promises is redone here, which is on Plug It In. Loose Living's another great song. This is probably my least favorite of all of them, but it's still very good there. I'm still anyway, this is like black. I didn't realize this. Anybody remember Lee Jeans? Like, holy crap. I haven't seen that logo in such a long time. I guess they're wearing Lee Jeans here. Well, yeah. But even though this is my least favorite, even though I still find it good, they actually got asked by another Ireland band, Thin Lizzy, to open for their farewell tour at this time. So, yeah, not bad, huh? But again, I bet like nobody here in Canada, this is not a household name at all. I'm curious to see if anybody out there actually knew who they were there, except you, Steve. I already know the answer to that, and more to come on that too. So yeah, well, yeah, the Professor McManus, here he is again. I don't know which term came first for Neil Peart or Pat McManus there, but who cares really? But anyway, yeah, number 1983, Turn It Up, got to open for Thin Lizzy on their farewell tour. I guess they were pretty huge in England, sorry, in Ireland, not England. So then this is where it got complicated until I read up on it. So I got this album. I actually found this here in Canada in the used. I'm like, I already had one album, and I'm like, oh, another Mama's Boys. So apparently this is just a compilation. But you know, when you're not familiar with the band and not familiar at all with the songs, you're like, there's actually some pretty friggin' good songs here. And of course, there's another picture of the guitarist playing the fiddle right there. But yeah, it's a compilation of their first two albums. So from Plug It In and Turn It Up. And with two, I think, or three new tracks. So the big popular one being Mama, We're All Crazy Now by Slade, which was done by Quiet Riot a little later, actually. This is 1984. Didn't Quiet Riot come out with that in 1985, maybe 86? I forget there. But yeah, you can see a kind of a different logo. And of course, the mom, I guess the mama with the guitar and the fiddle right there on the cover. But I think there's a version out there with a song I really liked. And of course, there's a video for it on YouTube called The Kids Are United. And I was like, wow, that's a freaking great song. Why was that not taken or left on the album? So if you want to check out another, there's 3 or 4 videos I've seen on YouTube. Needle in the Groove, Mama, We're All Crazy Now, Kids Are United, and another one coming later on that's got a funny side story to it there. But yeah, this is the greatest hits. I did not know. Some websites say this is part of their discography, but then I'm like, are they redoing their same song, re-recording the same songs? But for some reason, Needle in the Groove is not here. And apparently that was their big hit. So it's very odd compilation album, if you ask me there. Again, I got to show, like I said, remember the Lee. Okay, that was on the other. So that was on the other album. He's wearing a Lee with Mama's shirt. I'm like, what is with Lee? Are they sponsoring this band or something? But anyway, 1984, brought them some popularity in Canada. And believe it or not, they toured in support, so opening for the likes of Rat and Rush. Oh yeah, I thought that was actually pretty cool. So I wonder how those shows went there. But I guess these are, well, they're closer to Rat than Rush, big time. It's more that type of, but they kind of meet in the middle. They've got a lot of Ireland little, the fiddle, bagpipes even there. Not often. No, I don't want to scare people with fiddle and bagpipe talk there in case that turns you off. There's like maybe one song per album, maybe even. So anyway, there's the greatest hits right here. Next up, my favorite, and this one actually is very good. And another one that started off, this is actually the first one I bought just because of the album cover, because I was looking for sexy models on them. So 1985 comes Power and Passion. And at this time, the drummer, Tommy, well, when he was born, apparently he was lucky to survive. He was diagnosed with leukemia. Well, it came back. So they record this, and then they go on tour for this album, and Jimmy DeGrasso had to finish the American tour dates. Yes, that Jimmy DeGrasso. But he did come back, Tommy, to finish the tour, which was a bad decision, apparently, because he was rushed again to the hospital. More on that later on. So, well, let's talk about this album here, Mama's Boys, Power and Passion. So, Hard and Loud, straightforward, No Looking Back is a song that appears on, I don't even know which album anymore, but it was re-recorded. Better version on this. Letting Go, man, I friggin' love that song. And it's got some bagpipes in the chorus. And of course, their ultimate big hit, Needle in the Groove. It appears here. But if you want the great version of Needle in the Groove, check out this version right here. Power and Passion is good. Don't Tell Mama. So was it this one? Yeah, there's an instrumental called The Professor. Well, here's The Professor 2. But yeah, this album's actually, I like this album a lot here. So here they are again. There's Tommy right here with the leukemia. There's the guitarist / fiddlist and bass and vocals. But yeah, if you're looking to start Mama's Boys, start with this one. I find it's their best. And maybe after that compilation to get their earlier stuff too there. I like all their albums there. But yeah, here we go. Mama's Boys, Power and Passion, great stuff. This album also, or this tour, when they toured America, they toured with Rat again and Bon Jovi. So I don't know. I guess this is not in Metal Edge. I don't think so. I've never heard of this band until maybe like 2 years ago. It's sad. But yeah. So anyway, then comes sound change. So first of all, they were a trio where John was the one playing bass and singing. Well, he said, some shows were good, and when I had bad voice, the show suffered. So they went and got a vocalist for the going on forward here. So they go and hire a new singer called Keith Morrell. Where he's from, I don't know. There's not much about this guy on the internet. Apparently he was singing backup to Cliff Richard. So yeah, apparently fans were not too keen on the more commercial sound. But he there was a video for this song. So this is their next album right here. So 1987, so what, 2 years after Tommy gets better from leukemia. So he's like, But let's go and get a singer. So now see, there are now a 4-piece. So Keith Morrell on vocals. Yeah, it's more commercial AOR. This is hard rock with little Ireland or Irish roots or hints, I guess. This is really to appease to the American crowd here. So funny story. I post on my Instagram. I post, my vinyl of the day, and one day I post this album. Sure enough, who the hell chimes in? My friend Steve from New Zealand, from Rock and Metal Invasion. And he's like, Dan, did you know that the song Waiting for a Miracle, which has a video for it, so check it out. There's a video for Mama's Boys Waiting for a Miracle. Did you know that Samantha Fox redid that song? So she covered it, but changed the lyrics to Spirit of America as opposed to Waiting for a Miracle. So, well, I might as well show it. Why did he tell me this? Because he knew I owned Samantha Fox. So, yeah, there's and of course you'll notice right here, Spirit of America, produced blah blah blah, written by L. Mason P. McManus. There you go, Pat McManus. From so she never realized I was anyway. Yeah, I'm not afraid to say I love Samantha Fox there. But yeah, anyway, that was I was like, first of all, how the hell did you find that out, Steve? It was, I was watching her video. It was in the comments. I was like, it wasn't the other way around. I was watching a Mama's Boys video, and someone in the comments said it was covered by Samantha Fox. No, it was the other way around. So I was like, welcome aboard, Steve. Very proud to have you aboard the Samantha Fox guilty pleasure train, right? So anyway, they tour for this. The singer, Keith Morrell, gets sick. So they go and hire another singer called Mike Wilson. So then they tour with that singer. And actually, you know what? I will check out. So, well, first of all, they go and release, I don't own it here, but in 1991, they release a Live Tonight, a live album, which was also on MTV Concert Series. And check out, it's a song called Rescue Me. So it's a live song with that new singer, Mike Wilson. And don't give it time to, it's a builder, let me put it that way. And at the end, that riff that the guy does with the guitar is like, wow, that's actually pretty, I really like the song a lot too there. But that song Rescue Me is off of a 1992 album called Relativity, which I don't own, and I can't get it on iTunes. It's not there. And of course, I can get it on CD, but I have nothing to play it on or even rip it or whatnot there. So that sucks. Anybody out there who knows where I can get Mama's Boys Relativity, let me know. Digitally at least there. But yeah, that would actually be their last album. Apparently it was very critically acclaimed. But Tommy, the drummer, got ill again. He went on to have a bone marrow transplant, and he actually passed away during, I don't know if it was during the operation or right after or whatnot. And that happened in 1994, where he passed away. And that's when the two brothers were like, yeah, they were too crushed to continue on. So they're like, yeah, we're done. So yeah, it's a sad way to, I wish I had known them a little, at least a name, and I could have, bought stuff maybe at the time as opposed to in the last 2 years there. But it was a great discovery to find these guys after in the last 2 years, which started off as a joke, me looking for sexist album covers, turned out to be a great musical journey here. And when I say I love the song Needle in the Groove, I was like, wow, do I actually love that song here? So if you're curious about this band, I would actually try these two. It's the compilation of their earlier stuff and the new one called Power and Passion. To me, this is their best one. I love this album to death here. And this is a great compilation. Plus, it's got the Mama We're All Crazy Now there. So, anyway, that's my little take on the band from Ireland called Mama's Boys. A great surprise find in the last 2 years, I'll say that. Very happy to have found these guys. So there you go. Let me know in the comments if you actually know these guys, if you like these guys, if you hate these guys. But yeah, I've actually been pretty excited about these guys here. I tend to, like, of late, I'm not into discovering new bands. I'm into discovering old bands that maybe at the time I was not buying for X reason, or I didn't know about them for Y reason. Yeah, that's what's been happening right now, is like I'm not concentrating. I've got so much old stuff to buy. I don't have time for new shit right now. I mean, I'm not saying new shit like new bands that, have their first album like last week, I don't have time for that right now. Almost there. Some exceptions, but anyway, that's my episode on Mama's Boys from Ireland. Hope it was entertaining and helpful. Check them out. Like I said, check out Needle in the Groove and on YouTube. Waiting for a Miracle, Mama We're All Crazy Now. What was the other one there? Oh yeah, Kids Are United. There you go. Those are the 4 videos that I know that are on YouTube. Thank you guys for watching, and we shall see you guys next episode. Take care. Goodbye.